Harry clearly showed his low motivation of learning history. What we observed was that he was sleeping or doing homework of other subjects in history class. Harry also has some difficulty on reading texts, which is disadvantageous of learning history. He also claimed verbally that he has no interest in history several times. Throughout the phone call with his parent, his attitude towards learning history is highly influenced by his family.
Motivation is important for effective student learning, especially when students are learning history and other subjects which need a lot of patience. In order to make Harry pay attention to his history studies, his teacher emphasized that history is a mandatory subject for Year 10 students. However, individuals are self-directed and not just passive responders to external influences.
Cognitive behavioral theory advocates that students' cognition will change their behavior. Therefore, students can improve their performance when they change their view of subjects through positive experience. The aim of this intervention is to increase Harry's motivation of learning history. Intervention based on cognitive behavioral theory is applied according to the following steps.
Step 1. Understanding Harry's view of history. The teacher can understand Harry's view of history through his misbehavior in history class. He paid no attention to class content. Through the parent-teacher phone call, the teacher learned that his family does not value history, which therefore influenced his view of history. He believes that history is useless and that it cannot help him in the future.
Step 2. Trying to allow Harry to have positive experiences of history. The teacher can use different teaching strategies and teaching activities in history class. During the teaching, the teacher needs to pay attention on Harry's reaction of each activities in order to investigate which activity is the most interesting one for Harry. Harry's difficulty on reading texts needs to be paid attention. The teacher can provide different ways for students to approach and understand lesson content, including vocal approaches and visual approaches.
Step 3. Increasing Harry's interest and motivation in learning history. Harry is encouraged to participate in teaching activities. The teacher can organize a history excursion for students. This opportunity could allow the teacher to find out what historical content Harry may be interested in. For instance, Harry may be interested in Croatian history because of his Croatian heritage. The teacher can try to develop his interest in history from this point.
Step 4. Increased motivation improves Harry's self-management in history learning. According to cognitive behavior theory, Harry's behavior will change based on the changing of his will.
Early childhood circumstances have a powerful influence on students' worldview. Harry's family circumstance established the ineradicable undervalue of history. Therefore, it is very hard to change Harry's view of history. This intervention strategy is not quite effective on Harry. After the teacher analyzed the conversation between head teacher and Harry's parents, the teacher found out that Harry's family was very realistic.
His father mentioned that he disliked history because he thought history would not help Harry to make money. According to this point of view, the teacher needed to change the core of this intervention strategy. It may be more effective for the teacher to persuade Harry that learning history is a challenge for him. People cannot avoid mandatory tasks which they are not interested in. History learning will be a valuable experience for Harry to go through all difficulties in the future.
Created using Powtoon.